All right, guys, here we are talking about Walking Dead Season 8, Episode 15. So we're almost done with this season, and shit's, getting there.
That's like that's the voiceover for the commercial for this episode. I'm sure if we go back and watch on AMC, episode 15 next week, we're getting there.
No, like, we finally have a lot of these things coming to a head. Like, they're like, finally, we're getting some solid, all right, okay, all right, I see what's happening here. You got that. That girl who I predicted would come back finally is back. Dwight's finally getting his. Eugene's, in the middle of some shit.
Yes, definitely.
Negan's back, and he's killing people.
So, I was happy, too, because I think we actually, between us, hit most of the things.
Yeah.
I even got a little bit of what I wanted with, Negan, interrogating or, outsmarting or, manipulating everybody or whatever. Yep. It wasn't as, indie and pretentious as I would have liked it to be, but it was all in there. All right. I used to love Columbo or whatever,
oh, yeah.
right? I love when someone's like, oh yeah, one more thing. So if you got there before him, then how come this and that? And the person's like, oh God, or whatever, right? Columbo would rattle people's cages, and then they either break down and confess, or they would go to hide evidence or move something. Yeah, the lamp, weird, the lamp. And then they would go in there and turn on the lights, and Columbo would just be sitting in the chair hello, what are you doing with that lamp? And he'd be like, oh my God, and he would get caught like that. So I'm really into whenever anything happens, and then when Negan walked out from behind the dumpster, or when when that girl was in Dwight's room and all that stuff. I love that shit. That's awesome to me. Whenever that happens, and you can see these coming, or you're like, it's probably about time for that or whatever. But I love that.
It seemed like we finally got a payoff. There was a lot of things I'm like, and then this I'm like, oh right, you're actually the lean forward moment. You're like, okay, all right, what's gonna happen here?
It's popping off.
You're like, okay, Dwight's got the things. Is he gonna get found with the map? Oh no, he's gonna get fucked. They wanted that. How did you know that was supposed to happen? Oh God, because I even thought, I'm like, why didn't they kill Gregory? That seems strange. He was part of this conspiracy. I'm like, because he's needed for something. Yes. And that's interesting.
I love that, one person betrayed the other, who then got betrayed, or whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah.
There was that, layering of the whole thing. Because Simon and Dwight were not, allies, really. They were just,
Yeah.
So, I actually thought that, Dwight was betraying Simon, and that was going to be, the whole thing. But then it looped around.
I predicted the betrayal, because I was like, this will cut their already dwindled forces even more. But then as they reveal at the end, I'm like, there's still a fuckload of them. There's a lot of them. Jesus, there's a lot of them. And I don't know if that's all that that could be the workers. I don't know if that was actually the warriors, but even still, a good amount of people there. Because originally my thought, I'm like, all right, so this is all of them when they meet out there.
Yep.
I'm like that's barely enough to hold this fort.
In my head, I was like, wow, they just shot all of the dissenters. Bold move, because they're so short-handed. And then because we've been saying that for 5 episodes. How many people are there? They always seem to have 20 people, and then complain about how many people they don't have, and their ability to hold people off and do things or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But then at the end or near the end, whatever, they show you the big the room again.
Yeah, they put a lot of money into that scene, because we haven't had bodies. There's been no body count in any episodes.
Extras.
Even in episodes that required it to make sense, they were like, you know what, we can't put any extras in this shot.
Oh yeah, that was the whole setup for that. So at the end, I think, of season 7, you get this shot at the Savior camp with Negan up on the rafter being like, we're gonna do this, and there's mad dudes there.
Yeah.
And then for all of season 8, it's been how many dudes do you have? Whatever. We captured 38 dudes. You captured all the dudes? And it's no, there's hundreds of dudes. What? Where are all these dudes?
So no, that was pretty cool. I always think it's funny too when Negan, who has the upper hand, he has the gun on Simon, isn't that? He's like, you know what? I'm still gonna give you your chance.
Yeah.
Whenever someone does that, I'm always like, how foolish is that? Because every dog has his day. You don't know. You could have just tripped, fell wrong, and landed on your neck during that fight and lost. And I'm like, damn, that was unfortunate. But you gave it up. You let him have it. You even let him sucker punch you to start the fight. How ridiculous is that?
Did he let him sucker punch him, or is that the definition of a sucker punch where he was not expecting it or whatever, because he was mid-talking or whatever?
Well, when I say he let him sucker punches, is that he even let him have the opportunity to punch first.
He set up a situation where he wasn't, and part of me is like, well, yes, I've been watching movies my whole life. That's what you're supposed to do. It's like honorable or some bullshit. But some other part of me is like, he's like the king of the apocalypse. Like behaving this way doesn't get you there, right? That's not how this works.
No, unless you're so good. Like this is like the Achilles method of becoming the leader, and he is not. He's like
fight your strongest man.
He's an older man in a leather coat, which he didn't even take off to fight. I thought was interesting too.
Well, because I think, as you pointed out a few episodes ago, without that coat, he looks like he's a
scrawny,
much thinner, smaller man. If you look at his legs and shots and stuff like that, he's wearing some drain pipes or whatever. Like he's not looking like a thick, fighter.
No,
type
and Simon like rolled up the sleeves, and you're like, oh, Simon's got some girth. Like he's going for it. And that fight,
Simon's natty. Yeah.
That fight could have been close had he done it in like a little different of a way.
No, it was like super close. Like some of the stuff, like it was kind of that BS, like movie fight where someone gets a weird thing where they come down on someone just right, and now it's just over or whatever or something. Which I've never been in a fight, but I assume there's a lot of like grabbing each other and stuff.
If you
like
punch
that.
a dude right in the stomach and you get the air knocked out of him, you're gonna win.
Sure.
Like
so
9 out of 10 times, because while he's suckered, like trying to breathe, you just keep fucking hammering him. Especially like in a light, like the reason people can turn around in a normal fight is because you're not trying to kill them. If you're actually trying to kill somebody, it's pretty easy.
Oh man.
Because just think about that.
We'll cut that out of the video.
If you kept getting hammered in the face repeatedly and the man never stopped, you're gonna die. But in a normal fight outside a bar, they hit you once. They're like, okay, is he gonna quit? Did I win? And that guy can then pull a knife out and stab you. Like that's how people lose fights.
Right, and every fight in this world should be like the fight to the death, the last fight or whatever.
If ever there was one, this one. I thought the sucker punch was particularly weird though because he's starting off saying like, I didn't want this. I'll be your leader when this is over. I'm an honorable man. Sucker punch.
I know,
and
it was weird.
I'm like, everyone around you is on Negan's side. He killed everyone who wasn't on Negan's side. You have to approach this in the perfect way to make sure you don't get shot if you win. And he didn't do that, I didn't think.
No, it played kind of weird because I think that the showrunners forgot that they killed all of his sympathizers in the last scene or whatever. Yeah. Because it was kind of like, that fight was supposed to be like Negan proving that he's superior and like winning over the crowd or whatever. And it's like, no.
Most of his crowd, honestly, could probably go for anybody. They're like, I don't know, you're all getting us killed. I don't care. Burning faces with irons. I don't give a shit.
I just want sandwiches. I just want to have access to these sandwich components. But that ends up with a zombie Simon.
Yes. I thought an overacting zombie Simon.
Way too overacting. I've never seen a zombie act like that on this show.
And he's never been a zombie before. Yeah, I'll let him have it.
Being a zombie is a unique skill. You have to go to zombie camp, zombie training camp, and I don't think he went.
No. He skipped that. He's like, I'm an actor. I'm a thespian. I do what I want.
Fucking act. Simon, it turns out, was Trevor from GTA 5.
Yeah.
Which you played, I think, and I did not play.
Wait, was he legitimately Trevor?
I think he's Trevor, yeah.
And he looks like Trevor, actually.
Yeah, they do that in stuff where they make the even like Pixar does that. They kind of make the animated character look like the voice actor or whatever.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I was like, I like this guy. I may go play GTA 5.
GTA 5 was very good. That was the most movie game I've ever played.
Cinematic-ass, story-ass game. Yeah. So R.I.P. Simon, I guess. So Simon's been like, I don't want to say the highlight, but I kind of liked a lot of the stuff. He brought a different vibe to the whole, thing. Him and like Gregory, him and like the booze, and him and the stuff with the people, like,
Yeah.
I liked his whole like, now we have a problem, and doing this whole like thing. And I was like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah, it's sad to see a mustache like that go, but he's dead now.
R.I.P. Simon's mustache.
What do you think about the whole Eugene through line thing here?
There's the whole Eugene thing.
Eugene really took this turn, and I still think there's room for one more twist on that.
100%.
On that snake around a stick, what have you. But this has been interesting. The way he covered himself with ash so perfectly, I was like, how the fuck did he do that?
He's a scientist.
He says, I'm not a scientist.
I'm not a scientist, but I'll crawl around this pile of shit if it means I get back to my bullet factory.
Yeah, and when he pulled back, excuse me. He pulled back the father to help make things, and I was like, oh, is that him saying I need inferior bullets, or is that him saying, I need all the bullets? Like, I could see at this moment, because they did say, like, okay, they spilled the beans to him how they're gonna they've trapped them. But he did just get a really good tongue lashing and almost shot by his former friends. So I was like, which side of the fence will he land on? Because it could go either way at this point. If you said that was what it took to make him realize he's turned into a monster, I'd be like, oh, sure, that makes sense. Or if they're like, they tried to kill me, I want them dead. I have a good life here. I get pickles. I could see that making sense.
I'll call it a Grimulok.
But it wouldn't surprise me at all if the episode of the ambush starts and all the guns explode from the bullets being too far out.
Yeah, I think that they've set something up there with that or whatever.
Because why would they say that in such detail and not have that happen?
I liked that whole thing, by the way, with Gabriel and everybody and him being like, I didn't know. I just wanted the bullets to not work or whatever. And he was and had the whole exchange. And I'm like, okay, this is cool. I like this. I liked... So I feel myself like betraying myself or like whatever, because I'm like about to say, yeah, Eugene's a really interesting character. This is like a really unique arc. It's been really interesting here, and then I'm like, no, there were like 8 episodes or something where I'm like, wow, like or whatever, right? So like I think they're like slipping. They always seem to do this, like the premiere and like as you know as we approach the finale, we start to do some stuff, and then there's these episodes in between where we're not doing much, we're doing bad things or whatever.
I do think the finale is going to be very interesting, and I think there's going to be a lot of aha moments, like. You didn't know I planned this. Well, I planned that. Well, I planned this.
Well, what if we went back in time and hid the keys right here?
Yeah. It's going to have a bunch of that because they know where they're supposed to be and they're going to be there. But I think they're going to show up and then they're going to not do this. And there's going to be more people on the outside edge coming in. And then just as it looks like it's all lost, the water people are going to come in and they're going to ride down the mountain straight down with their horses like in Lord of the Rings.
A big light's going to flash. Yeah. No, pretty much. And then a zombie tiger's going to come and grab them and carry them to Mordor with the ring.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Sealed it up. Yeah, I don't, I liked the Eugene thing. I liked all that. I liked him vomiting on her. I liked them.
Now, did that have anything that I didn't understand, or was it just, I need a distraction? Because it seemed like the weirdest thing to do.
Okay, so, like, it, like, looked super weird, and I don't know what they were doing there, but I like this idea, like, Eugene developing, right? He used to just freeze up and not be able to, like, do anything.
Yeah.
But he saw zombies, right? He saw, like, death coming, and he saw his, like, chance to escape. And like a scared animal that just bites someone's dick or pees on something or whatever, he like vomited on her because he knew that she'd be like, what? Long enough for him to just like get around the corner and then there'd be a zombie there, right? So I was like, okay, because that's showing like, well, this character's growing and willing to do more to like fight and like survive, and you know he's using his strengths, his like smarts or whatever to like do it.
I thought there was gonna be something that I didn't pick up on, like zombies love garlic. He put that on her. And then
I wish no.
Because I was like, what was that? I'm like, how did you know it would be projectile like that, not just like a little like a hole?
Oh, and it was he had just eaten all that garlic.
Yeah.
What was it, garlic mac and cheese?
Yeah.
It's like most disgusting food in the world. So she's like, what is going on?
I also love that in the next scene she still was covered in it because I was afraid they're gonna do that thing where like, it's kind of off, yeah. So that's funny.
But that's something you like don't see every day, right?
I don't know that I've seen it this month.
Yeah, and that's what I want like out of this show. Like bottom line, right? They're like I don't want shootouts. I don't want someone shooting an AK-47 and then ducking and then shooting an AK-47 and then saying like, we got him pinned down. We just gotta wait for the thing. Like that's not what this show. I want people like scurrying around and betraying each other and being ugly and vomiting garlic mac and cheese on people. And
if I can,
if I can get a little bit of that on my thing, just a little taste. Because that's the kind of weird, interesting, right? Because, like, he just needed to get away. And then he hid, again. He's using his, like, he knows he can't fight them or all that stuff.
It was interesting, to say the least. Because I was like, I made the, like, that's a move.
Yeah, it's his only move, though. It's like when Mothra released the spores. And it's the only move she has left. No, I felt like overall, like even like their dialogue to him was great. She's like, "We're gonna lock you in like a dungeon, and you're only gonna see the light of day when we need your help." Or
after
something.
That line,
yes,
I was like, "All right." I'm like, "Okay, you ran," but then when he got back to the facility again, I was still like, "What does this mean? Do you want to make it so you don't like?" Because he's a smart guy, where you'd think he'd want to hedge his bets. For like, if we do lose, I want to make sure this happens, and they know that. But if I win, I also want
yeah. No, I think we should keep an eye on who has what guns and who has bullets from who and what's going on or whatever.
Are there any bullets that aren't from him? Because the last attack had no guns, so I don't think there are any bullets that aren't produced right now.
They didn't bring their guns. I don't know if that meant that they were out of guns. The gun thing
It has
is
to
very
mean that.
weird to me.
In what scenario don't you bring a gun?
They said we're just gonna go infect them. It was a whole like thing. I don't know.
No.
What was
They
going
said
on
we're going to
there.
infect them, but then when Simon took charge, he said we're going to kill them all.
Yeah, but like they were already there. That was my whole issue with that is they didn't go back to get any guns. I don't think that they're out of guns. They didn't make that clear enough to me.
Oh, I think they have guns. I
Like
think
he's
the bullets
making
were
guns.
just so
No,
low.
no, like the ability to shoot
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah, I don't know if they're literally out or what that means because they should have run out before, and that should have been a big problem before. And then they had the idea. It felt to me like they had the brainstorm to just do like a glancing blow, infect them, prove like, hey, we have nuclear weapons now or something like that, and force their surrender doing that or whatever, and that they were foolish to not bring guns because that was like the plan the whole time. And then he took power, but they were, they had already traveled there, so he just said, go on with the plan, it'll be fine, or whatever. It felt bad to me. If they are literally and like they need Eugene making bullets and like they're ramping up to this big conflict, but
Sure.
if they're literally out of bullets completely or whatever, they should have thrown in some. Have there been scenes that I missed where someone's like, we only have 400 rounds of this and 200 rounds of that, or
There haven't been.
so like that should have been made clearer. I guess they've been saying stuff,
But this show has an issue with that in general, making things clear. Do you think in the last episode we're going to see a helicopter or any explanation of a helicopter, like
I suspect
an illusion?
I suspect all that might be done. I think she might be done for this season.
Okay.
I suspect.
I would like an answer. Maybe a post-credit scene.
They know that you want that answer, though. That's why I think that they will not do it.
Bastards.
Just like a Hail Mary whatever thing.
Anything else happen in this episode that I'm forgetting or not touching on?
Well, we talked a little about the Oceanside people.
Yes.
But Aaron's in the woods, and they leave him there. His name is Aaron, I think, by the way. I've been calling him Aiden for like
Have you?
10 or 20 episodes of this. I don't know. You haven't corrected me.
I didn't hear you say
Same
Aiden ever.
name. I think I've been calling him Aiden because I remember when someone called him Aaron, I'm like, oh yeah, that's not his name. I did that with Spencer too. I called him some other thing or whatever. Was his name Spencer? His name was Spencer.
I think it was.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, Spencer's dead, R.I.P.
We get like a raining fight or whatever. It's raining and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So there's like mud and he loses his knife and
Yeah, that
wakes
would
up
be
all
very
lazy
awkward.
there.
But there's
It
also this
is.
thing where it's like, I'm like, even dehydrated and like hungry, you're still faster than there. Just fucking walk away.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the idea. Like again, like we're getting away from shootouts. Maybe that's my goal. I would like all the bullets and guns to explode and just have a world without those for a little while, right? That would be fine. Like if someone pulls out a handgun, that should be like a big deal. Like there's not many people left, but there's only like a finite number of guns, and it's been years. So I feel like bullets should be getting shot, and guns should be getting like destroyed and wrecked, and can't be repaired. You should have like 2 broken guns and have to figure out how to make 1 working gun out of it and all that stuff. Like there's not machine shops now except for like Eugene's, right? That should be like the biggest deal. Like all this should be centered around that, right? Like having guns should be like having nuclear weapons, right? We shouldn't have scenes where everyone has AK-47s and just like firing
I think
at each other.
with being in America with how many guns we have,
Yeah.
like you're always just like a few yards away from a stockpile or a new gun.
No, and that's the excuse, and that's fine. I just mean like it's been years, and like I think you get more drama out of not having guns. We talk about this. Some of our favorite time periods. You like a certain one. I like, I think, way before or after that time period or whatever. But like, there's a time period where like you're fighting with swords and there's awesome stuff happening, and like there's no like cheating. There's no like, oh, you just had a gun, you just shot someone or whatever.
Yeah, I like a time period that has guns, but there's not that many automatic ones.
Yeah, I don't know. That's fine. Like, just to set something up. Like, it makes the post-apocalypse look less like every other action movie. Makes it look unique and interesting.
No, I get that.
Yeah, because someone's like shooting a bow and arrow, but also is like wearing old coats that have, and like there's like logos and weird reused stuff to build walls. Like, it's an interesting feel you get in that Mad Maxian like apocalyptic type of thing. Why am I mentioning that now? Because the fight with Aaron was cool. Because it was dangerous. There were like 5 zombies or something like that.
Yeah.
But he was like slipping, and he's all dehydrated and like tired, and like he's been out in the woods for days, and he's like strung out and all that stuff. And he loses his knife because he can't like get his knife out of like the mud, like the mud. So finally, again, right? Not just when a character has to, Carl has to like die. It's like dangerous to be out there with zombies, right?
No,
That's
it's
cool.
always dangerous.
It didn't always feel like it was always dangerous.
It's because it's not even in the same
It
episode.
felt like
it's not always
business as
dangerous.
usual
Yeah.
or whatever, right? Yeah.
No, because it should be stressed, and he like gets full on grabbed. Where I'm like, that he could have scratched him at any moment. He could have got it.
Yeah, I don't know if scratches do it in this universe.
I think it does.
It should, right?
I want it to.
I know. No, I had that exact same thought. Like in some of the grapples, like ever since we drilled down into it during that one talk we did, I'm like, no, like a zombie would just like you couldn't like hold a zombie away. It could just like move its stuff and just like grab your things. Like you couldn't just grapple with a zombie. All it wants to do is like eat you. If you're putting you up against it, it's like that thing in Batman versus Superman, where it's like, well, Superman was able to touch Batman once, so Batman should be dead, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
It's like if you try to push the zombie away, it's just like, oh, hands, let me eat your hands. This is great. I love eating you. Like, it's not gonna be like a normal opponent is like, oh wait, what do I do next? What is he trying to do? How do I do this? But zombie's just like and just like goes for it, right? So like, I don't know.
It would go limp, just drop right to your hand.
It could just like fall into you and bite and just eat, right? There's no like
zombies are horrifying.
I know, and they should.
And they're
be
often
horrifying.
not treated that way.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
it's gotten too run of the mill, too like normal, and even that's cliche to say. But again, like a scene like that where we just get a couple people and a couple zombies and it being this like problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah. Have we
Michonne radios Negan.
Oh, I almost forgot about that.
So
she reads the full Negan letter.
We had a whole subplot of like reading the notes.
And it's touching.
Rick reads Carl's
She thinks
notes.
she's really got him. That isn't that?
Yeah.
And then Negan not only gets so mad that he says, "Oh, we're gonna kill literally all of you, and it's the only way we win." He smashes a vital piece of machinery that he can't get more of.
Yep.
That's how angry he is.
Which so that bothers me a lot. Let me just say that, and it ends on that. I think that's like the very last scene. So that's part of why I'm like, I liked things about this episode, but this show I still think has major problems.
Sure.
Because like, again, Negan, the king of the apocalypse, should always have whatever, right? Like, why is he so angry? Because someone else is suggesting. Like, what exactly has happened in between? Was it that like Rick tried to kill him? Was that the reason?
Well, I can see him being angry. He did lose a lot of his trusted staff here.
Sure.
Is like number 1 and 2 are both dead now because they tried to kill him. That's enough to send a man over the edge. But I never understand people that break their own things when he lost Dwight and he lost Simon.
Oh, well, Dwight's not dead though.
He's not his number 2 anymore. He's now.
I'm sorry.
I said lost.
Okay.
So, he doesn't have those people in his life anymore. That's already a thing. I think those were the only ones like left from the circle that even mattered. The girl's now back. What's her name? Arat.
Something like that.
I'll allow it. But to break something, like, and I know people that have, like, in anger, smashed their phones, and I'm like, smash other people's things when you're angry.
I've never
smash your own
I don't think I've ever broken anything in anger, is why I can't, like, remember or whatever. It just felt weird. I understand that, and they set that up, right? They even had him talking to Simon about, like, well, I remember when we did this together in the beginning. I've had my eye on you for all this time, or something like that, right? Like, that all makes sense. But it felt weird that, like, that's what set him off. That, like, Michonne's, suggestion...
well, he did like Carl. He respected him.
Yeah.
But like, I just know guys who would like, I didn't get that skateboard trick, and they would smash their skateboards, and I'm like, well, that's dumb. Just smashing.
That shouldn't be how Negan is, though, right? It should take a lot to get him to that
But
point
he is a hothead crazy person, so it's hard to really say what makes sense for him. But in the apocalypse, you'd think you'd weigh against that, like certain items, like your gun, your walkie-talkie, maybe a flashlight, very, very important, and maybe you don't do anything bad to them. Yeah,
it's been years of hopefully having to worry about things like that. I guess Negan is different, and that is consistent with his character, but that's not. Okay,
he's lost enough men that he doesn't need as many walkie-talkies now.
In all fairness, he can just probably shout, and they're all there. I don't know. Yeah. But Rick reads Carl's note, right? We get this whole, right? So we come full circle. There's nothing really in the note I think that's a big deal or something like that.
No, but it's a nice, sweet story, and you look out, and Michonne is walking with Judith.
Yeah.
That's nice.
There's nice things happening. I feel like this was supposed to set up that, like, well, Rick just, like, killed those saviors instead of trying to, like, salvage that situation, right? And he, like, did the nod thing and was like, we're taking these people out. Like, now Rick's all ruthless, right?
Yeah.
But then Negan was, like, thinking about not doing that. And, like, now they're, so now they read these notes and now they're, like, flipping or whatever, right? Like, ooh,
Yeah.
like, ooh.
Back to who they really are.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, dog.
Ultimately, though, it leads me to one hell of a episode 16 that I really do want to watch. I am excited to see it.
Are you optimistic? Do you think it's
I am
good?
I do think it'll be a good episode. Just because there's a lot happening. Things are going to happen. Do you think we're going to get any deaths?
I sure hope so, and I hate saying that, but yes.
Now, who do you think is going to die? If you had to pick a death.
It's so hard because it depends on like what they want to do with stuff. I could see Eugene dying, like we're saying, some sort of like redemptive thing, right? He ends up doing something that like destroys the whole bullet factory or something like that. Like he gets a whole thing. I don't know.
I think Father Morgan's going to
die. Gabe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
Morgan?
Father Morgan. Yeah, no, Morgan's going to live. Actually,
who?
Morgan could die.
Yeah, he's like blind now, sort of, or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what his arc is supposed to be. Or something
but
like
yeah,
that.
I thought Gabriel I did think was going to die. I thought he would die actually saving and like in multiple ways Eugene. Like putting him on the path and taking a bullet for him or something like that.
Right.
Was my thought. Because a blind
be
character is not long for this world anyway. But now
like
that you mentioned Morgan dying, Morgan's gone crazy for many episodes.
Oh, you mentioned Morgan.
I did it by accident, though. But
yes.
It made me think he could die.
We didn't see him last episode.
We didn't.
But he's definitely... No, I don't know. Like you have to go by the pattern of the show of late, like 5 years now or whatever, whereas they like spend time on people and like ramp them up and like then they die or something like that. So like obviously the main people, Daryl, Michonne, Rick, they can't die, so we've had time with them, that's fine. And these are the other people now that we've recently revisited, right? We've been reminded about Gabe and Eugene, and we had that whole side episode where they were each doing their different things, right? We've like done a lot of stuff to like develop them. But I think I like better if Gabriel dies in a way that kind of redeems Eugene or like puts Eugene in that spot or something like that.
So I like the Eugene character. I don't want to lose the Eugene character. I think he's good for the group. I want him around. I don't want him in a dark hole. I would like him to be saying his funny quips and doing stuff.
It's going to be so hard to get back to that, though, but that's what I want. Like,
I think when you save someone's life, you almost immediately are snapped right back, and there's going to be a lot of that. And if he does the bullet thing I'm thinking he's going to do, I think that's an instant redeemer. Like, we didn't know we were getting set up for, this trap, and you saved us from the trap. I think it would be 100%, nah, Eugene, we good, come on.
I could see them doing that, right? And they... For the first time, I think they set up that idea with like Tara forgiving Dwight in a way or whatever. Because like the only show that's really done this is like Game of Thrones, where like a character that was bad or good, you like eventually see them in like a different light or whatever. And this show hasn't even really done that. They've dabbled with it, where I'm like, wait, is Negan gonna be cool now? Oh, never mind. No, of course not. All that stuff. Like we've like done those things. Or like, wait, is Rick really finally, going to the zoo? And it's like, no, Rick's fine. Rick's Rick. It's at the end of the day, it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's really the only angle I see, because I don't care if Aaron dies. Good prisoner might die in a way that makes Maggie have hope for the fuck.
No,
I don't know.
Good prisoner, I think, is one of your next.
He's going to be in the next season.
Yeah. That would be my guess.
I'm sure he is, but. I'm just trying to think of like who else could meaningfully die. I don't think Carol's gonna die.
Carol might get a good injury, but I don't think she's gonna die.
I think
they're gonna shoot her in the face. She's gonna lose her eye, and they're gonna put a patch on it. It's gonna look really weird.
Great.
Nah, that's not gonna happen.
I think that's a poor choice. I think you'd have to leave a bandage over it because you can't CG it or like practically do it in every episode, and then you'll eventually just have to kill the character because you can't convincingly make it look like he doesn't have an eye.
Probably. Could have came across a false eye factory.
Eugene made you this false eye. It shoots lasers.
It's made out of coconuts. So I think that's all that happened, all the predictions for this episode. Looking forward to episode 16, the season finale of season 8. Let us know in the comments what you think about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.